happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. It's your girl Maria Milagros here, and during the month of April, we're talking about living large. And large is actually an acronym, and if you want to learn more about that, you can check out the video that I'll post at the end of this video so it can explain to you a little bit deeper what living large, because it's an acronym, like I said, is all about. So last week I made a video about making assumptions and how assumptions ruin everything. And as usual, I got a couple of email responses from a couple of women, and one woman said, I have the worst habit of assuming that people are out to get me. Okay, and when I read that, I thought, yes, in order for us to live large, we have to create new habits. Because what happens is we create habits, patterns, programs in our lives that either help us survive or help us thrive. And a lot of times we hold on to survival habits that are no longer serving us. And we need to replace those with new habits that allow us to thrive. Because this is super sparkly everything. And so we are looking to move the needle, even if it's a tiny increment at a time, to get us to a place where we're thriving, we're healthier, we're happier in all areas of our life. And the way to do that is to take personal responsibility. And that comes with a lot of self-awareness, paying attention to the thoughts that we have, the words that we speak, the actions that we take, and the habits that create our life, the programming that we're living off of. So today I'm going to talk to you about my 4-step program. It's not a program, but I like to call it that. My 4-step reprogram for creating new habits. So here it is. First thing is step 1. We have to remember that we cannot break old habits. We actually have to replace old habits with new habits. And I love this quote. What is her name? It was like Abigail Van Buren, right? The quote said, a bad habit never disappears miraculously. It's a undo-it-yourself project, right? And you're not really like undoing. You do have to put awareness there and then put something else on top, right? So here's the steps. Okay, step 1, you have to acknowledge, and I always suggest writing these things down. Like get you a journal and write these things down so you can see it on paper. Step 1 is acknowledging and making a statement about what is the old habit that you're trying to get rid of. That's step 1. It's actually step 1A. Because step 1B is why. Why do you want to get rid of that old programmed habit, right? And get real clear. Like get into the nitty-gritty of it. When I did this, and I'll explain what I did later. When I did this, I looked at it after I was done and I'm like, ew, gross, I don't want to do that anymore. That's why it's really important that we write it down, and that, or at least you verbalize it, have this conversation with someone. I prefer, again, writing it down because you can go back and look at it later. All right, step 2A is what is the new habit that you want to create? What is the new habit that you want to start reprogramming yourself to live in accordance with? And then 2B is why. Why do you want that new habit in your life? What is your rooting reason for starting to create this new habit? Okay, step 3 is I want you to think about when you, someone, anyone lives in accordance with that habit, what do they think like, speak like, move like? What's their life like? What kind of things do they do in order to make sure that that habit is not just a thought, it's something that's implemented into their everyday life? Okay, and then step 4 is I want you to write down. I want you to write down a mantra or an affirmation for yourself in the first person, like I am blah, blah, blah. I am a positive thinker. I am, a healthy communicator. I am whatever that habit is that you're looking to create. Okay, and then actually there's 5 steps. I said 4, but the 5th step is a requirement. You have to take action. It's really great. A lot of people have all these really great ideas and they have all this information and stuff and they write it all down and then they don't do anything with it. You have to take action. You have to implement it into your life. Science says, studies have shown that it takes anywhere from 28 to 32 days to create a new habit. So we'll say an average of 30 days for most people to create a new habit, a new solid solidified habit. And that's 30 days continuously. That's what happened when you learn how to brush your teeth when you were little and you learn how to walk without falling over. And, it's about 30 days continuously, a nice long streak. in order for you to implement that new habit. And it's not impossible. The thing is to not focus on the full 30 days. Instead, today, right now, what am I doing to ensure that I'm running that new program? What am I doing to implement that new habit? Today, right now is what you have to do. Okay, and then you, like I said, step 5, take action. You have to take action. So this is for myself. I have some issues with time. So the bad habit that I want to break is not being on time. Why? Because I feel disrespectful to other people when I arrive at a party or something. Usually for work, not usually, for work stuff, I'm always on time. But for just about everything else in my life, not so much. So I'm like, ew, gross. I don't like the way that I feel when I get there. I feel like I'm rushing to get there. And like, I don't want to disrespect them and their time. If they said be at the house at this time, I want to be able to be there, right? So I started creating that new habit for myself. And for me, what that meant was I had to create the second step was step 2A was I am on time. I'm going to be on time. And then why? Because I like the way it feels when I arrive at a space and I can either help out or I can go pee or I can settle in or, you know, whatever. Just this idea of room and margin and ease and light is magic. And then the third thing was I thought about people that I know who are always on time. And I said, how would they think? Because we have to separate ourselves sometimes from ourselves and put ourselves in someone else's shoes to create this action plan. And I thought about some people who I know who are always on time, and I said, oh, you know what? They will stop what they're doing to leave early. They do this, okay, and I wrote it all down. I had to create, I had to schedule alarms in my phone in order to, I'll stop folding laundry midway through the pile where before that would drive me crazy. And I had to stop making up these excuses and just like walk away and go. And that's what I started doing. So that's the third thing. Then the fourth thing is I, Maria Milagros, am on time to the spaces in my life, right? Aside from catastrophic event, I will be on time. I am working on it and I'm doing good. And then the fifth thing was actually taking action. And for me, that was scheduling the alarms in my phone and just being hyper aware of the time and what I'm doing and how I'm moving through spaces so I can make sure, again, that I'm arriving on time, I'm giving myself leverage, and then, you know, I'm giving myself that margin in that room because life is supposed to be light and easy and fun, but we make it complicated. And then we have the audacity to blame other people in traffic who are trying to get somewhere too, like it's their fault that we're late. No, we left the house late. I don't blame people in traffic, but I know people who do that. I recognize that it's me. I'm like, this is me. I'm late, y'all. And at first, there was a time in my life for the longest time where I'm like, that's just who I am. And then I decided, no, gross. I don't even like the way it feels for me. So because I didn't like the way it feels for me, that's not healthy and happy. I need to make some changes. I need to do that. So we have to own that. So that's what I have for you. I have my little 5-step program to help you change some old programmed habits and get some new ones. And this is going to help us live large. This is going to help us live super sparkly everything. This is going to help us live easy, light, and fun as we are deserving and worthy of living in accordance with. But we have to take personal responsibility, so it starts right here and right now. So let me know in the comments, what's the habit that you're trying to break, or what's a new habit that you're trying to take on? Or you can email me as usual, and I'll get back to you when I can in the emails. I can't always respond to those in a timely fashion because those are... they're a lot. So I'll get back to you when I can. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who can benefit from it, please share it because sharing is caring. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, right? That's it. I'll see you next week when we talk some more about different things and how to live large because that's our theme for the month of April. I love you and there's nothing you can do about it because you're magic. You're magic. Peace.